Good morning. I had to check the time real fast to make sure it still was morning, and it is. So, at least it is here. So, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being with me today. And I apologize that I feel like my times have been kind of jumping all over the place recently. Um, and some of that was me trying to figure out when the best time is to come live, and some of it is just life circumstances. So forgive my kind of disheveled appearance this morning. I had to get up about 4 a.m. to take my mom in for cataract surgery. So I'm probably a little fuzzy, and I'm definitely looking a little weary. So I'm gonna switch the camera down because I'm looking at myself and I don't want to. So I wanted to share with you today this card. So at least I'm pretty sure this is the card that Angie wanted to see. This is a fun fold that we made as part of some training when Art Gallery first was introduced, which I think was probably a celebration of 2021. So January in that mini catalog, not celebration, in the mini catalog a year ago. But this is this fun fold, so it has a belly band and has the Stitched So Sweetly label here. Now these dies, the Stitched So Sweetly, these are retiring. So, and let me just grab them so you can see how awesome they are, because I'd hate for you to miss out. In fact, I'm just gonna grab, yeah. In fact, so I just grabbed a few more while I was over there because, okay, so these are the Stitched So Sweetly. They are retiring. These are some of my favorites. I absolutely love to nest these two like this. So I'll do like this one in white and this one in a darker color, and that's a gorgeous combination. These two are just kind of fun shapes when you have kind of a smaller greeting. And then, of course, the scallop rectangles, they don't need any explanation whatsoever. So these are on the last chance list. If you haven't seen the last chance list, I will share it in the blog post today and in my newsletter that's going out. The Playful Alphabet also retiring on the last chance list. I love this die. In fact, I have two of them, and so don't miss out. These are such a fun size for scrapbooking, and just they're, what are they, an inch tall? Let's see, not quite an inch tall, more like 3/4 of an inch or so, something just over 3/4 I think is what they are. The hippo dies are retiring, and we use these a lot also. And same kind of thing. This die nests with some really, just really cool. Okay, I can't see. I've already lost intelligent thought. But these are amazing. All of these fun shapes. I used this set of dies on that scrapbook page that I shared a week or so ago. Everything is a week or so ago. There's one other that I think is just a total staple that is retiring. I'm just going to see if I can grab it really quickly. So this one, the Tasteful Labels, is retiring. And so another great greeting die set. Now that's not to say there aren't some wonderful things coming in the new catalog. There absolutely are. But these that we're saying goodbye to are really hard to say goodbye to. So consider those. So this is Tasteful Labels, Hippo and Friends, Playful Alphabet, and then Stitched So Sweetly. And I have two sets of these, two sets of these, two sets of these. Actually, I have two sets of all of these because I love them and use them so much. And in my classes, that saves so much time on preparation to have two sets. Okay, so I So let's go back to this card and take a look at it. So I just deconstructed this a little bit in order to come up with what we needed for the recipe, and I thought I'd share a couple of tips. For this to fit in a standard envelope, our standard medium envelope, when it is folded, it needs to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, right? So, you know, or thereabouts. So 4 1/4 is pretty much spot on, and 5 1/2, which means that this middlemost panel is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Knowing that we wanted to fold it this way so that these two pieces would be visible, okay, so we know that you kind of do some math here, but you come up with scoring it at, okay, my ruler is stuck here somewhere. You start scoring at 1 1/4, 3 3/8. Then we're going to flip it over and do it again, 1 1/4, 3 3/8. That way it's even, and then this fits a standard layer 4 by 5 1/4. All right, so this is designer series paper that was part of the suite when it was first introduced, and so I've grabbed some different paper for us today. So let's start with our pool party. So this is our card base today, and we need it to be 5 1/2 by 11. Now this means we're not going to get 2 cards per piece of cardstock, which is okay. I just want to tell you that that's the way it's going to work. All right, I need to scoot this out a bit so that you can see a little bit more of the trimmer. Okay, so now with my scoring blade, I'm gonna come this way and score it at 1 1/4. So I've used the measurements on the right side. This is my scoring blade, so 1 1/4. And I could actually flip it at this point and do 1 1/4. It doesn't matter. And then the next one is going to be at 3 3/8. So here's 1/8, 2/8, which is a quarter, and then 3/8, which is 1/8 shy of a half. So 3 3/8. So again, 1, 2, and 3. And now when we measure this, this part should be 4 1/4, and this should be 5 1/2. And I'm seeing some little roughness to my edge here. Can you see that it's just a little fuzzy? So that's telling me that I need to swap out the blade in my trimmer. Oops. All right, as long as I've got this out. So that's our card base. We've got to make a belly band. So I'm going to cut this at 1 inch. Actually, let's just go ahead and change that trimmer blade while I'm here. So on the trimmer, down here at just about where this grid is, there's a little scoop out, and that little carve out is where you can remove the trimmer blade or the scoring blade, and I'm at a weird angle and I can't get it, which is a good thing because you don't want them to just fall out. Come on, silly. There it goes. Well, there. So just I took a little trial and error, and I have trimmer blades in, oh, wrong one. Wrong one. I did figure out my labels for my drawers, so maybe next time you are with me live, I'll have all of those labeled. I don't have classes this week. I just have my YouTube live today, my Facebook live on Wednesday. Now I have lots of other tasks to do, but I don't have classes, so I have big plans for getting those kinds of things done. All right, so now we're going to cut this at 1 inch, and I just pushed my scoring blade out of the way. And so that part is done. Now we're going to cut our DSP. So we'll need these 2 pieces that go here and 2 pieces that go here, here, and here. So these 2 are the same measurements, and these 2 are the same measurements. And of course, you don't need to be worrying about trying to write those down right this second, because I'll of course include that in my card recipe. So, all right. So I need 2 pieces at 1 1/8 by 5 3/8. So coming in just 1/8. So 5 1/8. 5 3/8. I'm sorry. All right. So those are the inner 2, and I'm using the Flowering Tulips paper. Cannot get enough of this paper, so I just can't. I just love it. This is in the mini catalog, so we have a little bit more time to enjoy this. We have until the end of June. It's the paper in the annual catalog that is leaving us, that I strongly encourage you to go ahead and get your favorites. Like I said, if you haven't seen the Last Chance list, I will post a link to it today as well. The April calendar is set, but there's a caveat to that as well. I am seeing actually a surgeon the first week of April, and I don't know. The April schedule is set as firmly as I can set it right now. Nothing majorly wrong with me, but I will be having surgery at some point. Okay, so this is going to fold like this. This is going to fold like this. Then this is going to go back, and this is going to go back. Now I need a bone folder to really burnish those lines. So my mom is doing really well. I'll go check on her as soon as we finish. It's kind of funny, those were just meeting a little tight in the middle. So your bone folder is magic. All right, so we can put these down. I'm gonna actually flip this over, and I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue. And so this is just 1/8 of an inch border. Just hold it for a few seconds. So you might be looking at the train wrecks of nails that I have today. I finally pulled off what was left of my dip manicure from January. I just decided that was money I'd rather spend somewhere else. I love them, but it just gets pricey to maintain them. So I'm going to try and just keep them with a clear top coat on them. Of course, now they're a little mangled right now. All right, so that pattern didn't matter which way we were going, but this one does. So this is just going to tuck in and be visible right here. As long as I keep both pieces going the same way, it'll be fine. And there we go. So there's that one. Isn't that pretty? I think that's lovely. And then this piece goes over here. So we have Zoom scheduled tonight from 7 to 9 Central. And I have a pinned post on my Facebook page with all of those details. Of course, it'll also be on the blog, michellesalcho.com. And we'll Zoom as long as I can stay awake. How's that? Although, honestly, 4 o'clock isn't so much earlier than I usually get up. All right, so we've got this built. We're going to stamp on this, and we're going to stamp on these die cut images. And I'm pretty excited because I remember a technique that we shared when we did this, whenever it was. Okay, so here are the white pieces that I've already cut. So this is our center, and we're going to stamp in the corner. And then we have our Stitch So Sweetly label, which we're going to attach our flower to. And then we have 2 of these. And you'll quickly see why we need that. All right, I'm gonna grab the Stamparatus. And okay, I just realized I have mine stored incorrectly. I stored mine in the hinge. Don't do that. Don't beat Michelle. Take it out, and you can store it lying inside like this, or like this, but don't leave it in the hinge. All right, I'm gonna set my magnet over there. Take this piece out, it's dirty. And looking at my acrylic plate and realizing it could use a little cleaning love as well. And I'm gonna go this way, I think. This is a photopolymer stamp, so I need my little foam mat, which I'm also using as a mouse over here, a mouse pad over here. My mouse suddenly did not like my Dwight Yoakam mouse pad. Okay, so y'all think I'm crazy, but here I'm talking about. Here's my another foam mat. I'm using it. Been using this Dwight Yoakam mouse pad for a long time. Like, quite fond of Dwight, but my mouse, I suddenly decided it doesn't like him, so using that foam mat. Okay, so I've got a piece of the grid paper that goes with the Stamparatus, and then I have my stamp set. So we are using this stamp here, and then I'm also going to need this little guy. I'm pretty sure it's this little guy. Yes. All right, I'm going to get I'm going to get a small stamp for that. I'm not going to use it in the Stamparatus. All right, and then I've got a template that I store. I had a couple of templates cut out, and then I've got lots of extra pieces that I've already cut out as well. Because I'm quite fond of this. All right, let me get a small block for this one. Okay, there's a block for that one. And I need my mouse. I can move it over there. I do need these two. So, thinking about how this is going to fit in here. Roughly about there will work for me. Okay. So let that pick up my stamp. Then I'm going to just put this into the corner. And because those photopolymer stamps are kind of sticky, so I don't want it to move around. Now, I'm going to ink this up and stamp it over. And then we'll line up our template. So I have grabbed Evening evergreen. And it's a sure bet that I will be inked up really well with evening evergreen for the rest of the day. All right. Now this tells me how to guide the placement for my stamp. And you might already be thinking, why have you done this whole thing in green? Well, I have a tip for you. Fit that just in there. And then I'm going to ink up my stamp and bring it over. And I've got a little bit of green pieces there. So I've got this. And that. And I'll bring that off. And so I've got the green there. Now, I'm finished with the green. I need to clean this. And I cut up a chamois because it's easier to clean with a piece of the chamois than it is, at least it's easier to clean the stamp on the Stamparatus plate with the smaller piece. All right, the next one, I'll stamp it again in Fleur de Flamingo, a very favorite color. And this is a color that isn't listed as coordinating with the paper, but I think it does. And I'm really just working on the flower. All right, so now I have the pink. I need to add a little accent piece to it. And store my magnet back. Close my Fleur de Flamingo for now. I am going to use it on the inside. I'm going to grab Poppy Parade. Get this guy back out. And Poppy Parade. And I'm going to just accent these flowers a little bit. And remember, this is not perfect. It's not meant to be perfect. But we've just added a little depth. Now, clean that. And I guess while we're stamping, let's go ahead and do this inside piece as well. And it does not have to be on the Stamparatus because we're just gonna, oh shoot, we're just gonna stamp it once. And we're gonna stamp it in Fleur de Flamingo. Just kind of down here in the corner. Close that. And then we'll do the Poppy Parade pieces, accents. I'm so fuzzy. There we go. Okay, so that'll be inside. And now we're ready to cut this out and assemble. And I will set those over there and clean them when we're done. I need some mini dimensionals and some regular dimensionals, and I need my snips. So have you figured out what we're doing yet? All right, so basically we're just going to pop these on top here. That's easier than masking everything up. Now, I told you, I think I saw the eye doctor last week and he's adjusted my prescription. So until he and I come to an agreement, that means I'm left wearing readers a little bit. So I am just cutting off all of the parts that I want to show in green. Okay, so that is going to be this one in the center. And then, so not only, but also smoothing out these edges a little bit. There. Isn't this a cool trick? The way I remember it is that this is something that Sarah Douglas showed us how to do. Okay, she showed me how to do it. Others before me may have already had it all figured out. And there we go. And that just looks a little harsh to me there. Okay, so now we're just going to put some dimensionals and put them down. And I believe I can hold you with a large one. And forgive me if I get my head in the camera. It's just a little lower than it needs to be. Okay. Oh. Let's not throw that away, right? Slide it in right there. And this one, could definitely use a large one, a large dimensional, a regular dimensional. Okay, and I think this one will as well. So how about that, right? Isn't that slick? This is kind of a double lesson for the day, isn't it? Right now, where's my label? Oh, I forgot to stamp my greeting on the inside. And I'm going to use dimensionals on this as well. And I'm not sure that a big one will fit on the leaf. So I'm just going to use a couple of little ones. Okay, and that's probably more than it needs to stay in place, but no reason not to use them. Oh my goodness, it's all stuck to me. Okay. I'll just kind of center that a little bit. And it's fine to hang off either edge. All right, now let's come back to this and stamp a greeting. I love the greetings in here. So we have, you know, happy birthday, congratulations, good luck, I'm thinking of you, you are lovely, and I'm going to go with I am thinking of you. I have quite a few of my friends on my prayer list, and I'm going to send a card and say, I am thinking of you. You are amazing. I'm just going to stamp this down here. Just like that. All right. So, final stages here. Let's finish putting this guy together. All right, this is going to go this way. Just one thing to keep in mind with belly bands, and that's that your band needs to be tight enough that it doesn't just fall off, but loose enough that it can be, you know, it can slide off. Now this one, they took a piece of ribbon and wrapped it under, and the edge of the band is actually right here. So you just want to hide that edge behind it. And 11 inches is probably longer than we need. And I'm going to just kind of do it like this. And that's probably a little tight, so I'm gonna, okay. All right, then I'm gonna put a little liquid glue on here, and I'll trim this when I've got it dry. So we'll give that a bit of time to set, and then we'll trim this part off. And then we've got some ribbon choices. So I brought out this sheer pool party, which is a favorite. And I also brought out this window pane, which is part of the suite and ties back to the evergreen that we used in our stem. Anybody got a vote? I love it when y'all are here to vote with me and I don't have to make all the decisions myself. I'm gonna do the contrasting one. And I'll do it as a cheater bow as well. So cut it into 2 pieces and tie a bow with that second one. Don't need any more glue. I do need some glue dots. Oh, I might not need that. So put something on the end here. The end here. And just roughly the center there. Let those meet. And then I'll put glue dots, not glue dots, dimensionals on either side. And I want to be sure that the dimensional is really catching the cardstock. I don't want it to be on the ribbon because then it'll slide around. And this in no way needs this mini, but you know, it's a belly band, so it's going to be sliding on and off. Okay. There we go. There's that. And now let's just cut some ribbon. And no, I didn't get out. I did not get my ribbon scissors out. So feet under there, please. I think some of the people that come to my in-person classes might tell you that the best part about coming to, one of the better parts of coming to an in-person class is that I'll tie your bows for you. So, and I'll be the first to admit that bow tying takes practice, and my teachers would certainly agree that they tied a lot of bows for me until I figured it out on my own. Okay, and then we'll just trim this like that and like that. And then here is our freshened up card, fun fold, and it's going to open just like that. Has lots of room for writing that message. So I hope that you enjoyed this today. I appreciate you sharing, liking and sharing the videos that I do. Leaving me comments is a tremendous boost, and you be sure to you can subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're catching this later. You can subscribe to my blog and my newsletter by going over to michellesalcho.com. And I'll be back in a newsletter today, hopefully today, depending on how my mom does, with the April calendar. And I hope that you will be in a class with us very soon. Take care, everyone. Have a very blessed Monday. Bye-bye.